Today, I'd like to talk to you about something that a lot of people don't like to say out loud. When you reach your 60s, you start doing the math. And some people even freak out, right? You start thinking, oh, I don't have much time left. When's the last time I'm going to see my kids? Or is this the last time I'm going to Italy? I like Italy. I love the food, I love the people. So that's what we'll talk about today. First, if you don't know me, my name is Micha. I'm 75 years old, moving along in life, and my channel is called Ageless Lifestyle. Not that I believe that you're going to live forever. On the contrary, actually. When I use the term ageless, what I mean is that we don't obsess with numbers. We don't count down as if it was a football game or something. Uh, or is this the last birthday that I'll ever have? Those thoughts should not really enter our mind. That's what ageless means. Not that we're going to live forever. Basically, we live right now, right in the present. That's very important. But of course, let's be honest, we're all aging. It's a one-way street, unfortunately. Or not. I know that I've had a very decent, if not very good life. I don't feel any real regrets. I don't feel any regrets. Some, of course, like anyone. After all, at 75, there's some regrets. But believe it or not, a lot of good memories that I'm happy to think about and happy to remember. So today I'd like to share with you 7 realities about life after 60 and how not to freak out when we have a birthday. If you look at the statistics of the CDC, it says that the life expectancy for a man is about 75 years old. So now if you're in your 60s and 70s, you figure, wow, not much time left, is there? But let's not forget, these are statistics, probably calculated by, especially these days, by AI. I personally don't feel that a computer deciding on my average lifespan is quite valid. I don't go for that. Not at all. Not my style. Actually, I do prefer living every day as if it was my last one, but with enthusiasm and reality checks. For example, my wife and I travel quite a bit. We live in Canada, but every year we go and visit my wife's relatives who are in Japan. My wife is Japanese, and one of my son also lives there. We also go to Italy every year where we have some good friends, where we enjoy good food, and we're in the south of Italy, so good weather most of the time. And of course, we could be thinking, oh, is this the last trip we're going to make? Is this the last time we're going to see our kids? Is this the last time we have that Italian meal? But instead of letting those thoughts steal the moment, I use those thoughts to sharpen it. So when time feels precious, life becomes vivid, and hopefully you'll make it meaningful. Let's look at the first reality check. Everybody always says health is everything. Well, guess what? At our stage in life, after 60, it is. And we should definitely not ignore it. Health as a senior is freedom, it's independence, it's dignity. So having a healthy lifestyle and doing exercises on a regular basis, and I mean regular, like an everyday, is quite beneficial at our age. You don't need super complicated routines. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. You don't need to go to the gym all the time. Just take up good habits like eating well, walking, non-stressful exercises. A little shameless plug here. You can look at my channel where you'll find quite a few videos on easy, simple exercises you can do after 60. So try to check that out if you want. I'll leave a link down below. Reality check number 2. Memory. Yes, of course. Sometimes we forget the name of somebody. Sometimes we'll walk into a room and say, "Hmm, what did I come here for?" uh, or we'll be looking for our glasses and they're on our head. These are things that I've gone through quite a bit, but it doesn't mean that I'm completely lost my memory. But also, aging doesn't necessarily mean that we surrender to every little quirk that comes along. There are ways to stay sharp. One way to keep your mind well oiled is reading. You can sit down and read with some music in the background. Doesn't matter what kind of music, whatever you like, jazz, opera, classical, instrumental, rock if you like. And just relax and read a good book. One little trick that I use to oil that memory of mine is reading license plates. So when I'm walking or driving, I just look at the license plates and add up the numbers as fast as I can. Especially if the cars are going in the opposite direction, then you sort of have to, of course, don't concentrate on the, on the only on the license plate. Look at the road, but a quick glance, and you'll pick up the numbers and add them up in your head. It's a easy little trick that you can do anywhere, obviously, when you're outside. Another easy trick to do is to talk to younger people, have relationships with the younger generation. They'll usually keep you more abreast of what's happening and give you good ideas to think about, I'm sure. I love, for example, talking to my children and their friends. And many times they'll say, "Oh, you don't understand, Dad. In your days, it wasn't like this," or whatever. And they're right. Or they'll say, "Dad, you're old. You don't know." And it's true that I'm not really completely aware of the realities of today's generation since I've crossed, when I was in the 50s and 60s. It definitely was not like the 2020s. Let's put it that way. They would say, "Oh, if you bought a soft drink then, it was about 10 cents." And actually, it was 5 cents. And yes, we used to go to the local restaurant after school and order fries and gravy and shake. Uh, it was uh, it was quite nice, and being with the friends and putting those nickels or dimes in the jute box. Yeah, it was good memories, the good memories. But all that to say, do stay connected with our youth and especially stay curious. Really keep being curious about what's happening around you. Reality number 3, true relationships matter more than ever. When I was younger, of course, I thought I had lots of friends. As a matter of fact, I did. I had so-called friends, in school, out of sight of school, during sports events or whatever. I thought everybody was my friend. Now I know better. Not that everybody hates me, or it's not everybody that's your closest friend. In our 60s and 70s, the circle shrinks, and that's okay. Concentrate and focus on the friends that show up, the family that checks in, and the people who truly listen. Quality over quantity every time. Reality check number 4. Don't become that old grumpy senior. So easy to fall into that one. We've all met them. And probably I was becoming one and maybe became one at one point. Sometimes we think, I have no more tolerance. So what? That's just how I am. Who cares? I've deserved to be whatever I want to be and to be however I want to be. Well, no, not at all. Of course, our patience sometimes can wear thin, but we still have a choice. We still have a choice. We have a choice to stay calm or become that old crank. Staying calm is much more rewarding than just being grumpy. The other thing with that too is sometimes we tend to hold a grudge. But why? Because believe it or not, the only person who suffers when you hold a grudge against someone is yourself. The other person probably doesn't even give a hoot. But you, if you keep that thought in your mind and always like think about it, you're the one that's suffering. You're the one that's going down the rabbit hole. Just let things go. So just stop holding those negative thoughts in your heads. Just forgive and forget. And once you forget, you can move on with much healthier and happier thoughts. Sometimes we need to relax because, yes, life can be challenging, not just for older adults, but just for everybody, especially these days. And one thing that I've been doing, well, actually, I've been doing it for quite a while now, is to relax and breathe, conscious breathing. So here's a little trick. Your body will thank you for it. Every night before going to bed, I lie down and I breathe. Not chanting, no umbaya stuff or, heavy duty meditation. No, just conscious breathing, clearing my mind, just focusing on the breath. And I also now do it in the morning. So I do it at night and in the morning. And it really, really helps. It works. So another shameless plug. I have a video on conscious breathing, not just breathing before going to bed or in the morning, but sort of a continuous conscious breathing method. Again, I'll leave it in the description below. Take a look. You'll probably enjoy it. Reality check number 5. Move from stuff to simplicity. I think you know where I'm going with this one. We're probably still storing stuff or keeping stuff that I personally like to call junk at this point for over 5, 10 years sometimes, and we never use it. I'm going through boxes of stuff or things that are in my cupboard, and I look at it and I say, when did I use this last? I don't even remember. Why am I keeping this? Ooh. And believe me, less clutter means less stress, less drama, and definitely more peace. Here's what I like to call the just in case test. Okay. Go through your virus, yeah. Go through your various objects and items. Ask yourself this question. Have I used this in the last 6 months? If the answer is no, then ask, would I realistically use it in the next 6 months? Or am I keeping it just in case? So if it's just in case, guess what? It's clutter. Get rid of it. This is not downsizing, it's upgrading your freedom. You'll thank me for it. Reality check number 6. Focus on what truly matters. In your 20s, for example, you had ambition. You wanted to do things, go for experiences. In your 40s, you started to think about more responsibilities, maybe getting married or having children. And that is a sort of a natural progress. But in your 60s and beyond, it's meaning in terms of health, meaning in terms of connections, meaning in terms of purpose, and meaning in terms of legacy. Not status, not impressing anyone, not proving anything to anybody. You probably have proven more than enough at this stage of your life. So here's our final reality check. Don't wait. Do not wait. Waiting at this stage of our life is a bit meaningless. You want to wait to take that next trip. You want to wait to call a friend or your children. You want to wait to start exercising. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. And eventually you never start. Do not wait to do all those reality checks. One of the important checks that I've mentioned before is forgive and forget. Again, if you hang on to those bad thoughts, you're the only one that's going to suffer. Nobody else. Nobody probably even cares. And so the only one that suffers is you. Time doesn't slow down, but gratitude slows regret. Every year after 60 is a gift, not a guarantee, but a gift. So unpack that gift and enjoy it. Here, let me tell you a story to finish this video with. Um, it's not a story I necessarily like telling because it's a sad story. I think in the context of this video, it's worth telling. My very best friend was a an accountant. He loved food. He loved good wine. He loved enjoying people. He always had people in for dinner, and he had a beautiful country house, and he'd always have guests come to his country house, and he just liked to entertain the people, just to be around friends and have great discussions. He was a wonderful man. So one day I called his house, and someone answered. It wasn't him. And I said, "Hi, who is this?" And it was actually a very good friend of ours. So I said, "Is Mark there?" My friend's name was Mark. He said, "No, no, he's not here. He's at the hospital." And I said, "What? Why is he at the hospital?" "Oh, he went in for this small intervention. It was nothing, actually, just a sort of something very minor. I forget exactly what it was now." So I said, "What are you doing at the house?" He says, "Oh, I was visiting him, and he asked me to come pick up some papers for him because he wants to finish a few tax returns for some of his clients." And I said, "What?" I said, "He's in the hospital and he's asking you to go pick up paperwork for him to do in the hospital." He said, "Yeah, you know, Mark." I said, "Unfortunately, yeah, I guess." So I said, "Please let him know that I called and tell him I'm going to call him back when he gets home." And guess what? He never made it home. A stupid little intervention. I don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened, but he didn't come out of the hospital. So, again, moral of the story, you never know what happens. You never know when it could happen. I was really hoping we would spend a bit of time together, having a nice sip of wine, and watch a sunset in Italy. And that's never going to happen. So, don't wait. Do not wait. Enjoy your life to the fullest.